In our last episode, Choking to Death, Killing Canada's Wolves with Neck Snares, we exposed you to the cruel realities of how our wolves and other canids are dying slow, painful deaths in inhumane neck snares. My name is Johnny Marriott, and this episode, we're delving deeper into the dangers that neck snares pose, not just to our coyotes and wolves and foxes, but also to our beloved family pets, and, perhaps surprisingly, to your wallet. To many, a pet is more than just a dog or cat, but a member of the family. They nestle their way into our lives and create a bond that is real, authentic, and cherished. And for many, experiencing the outdoors with their family pet is a favorite activity. But as you're about to hear, a family walk with your dog can turn into a total nightmare when snares are encountered.
In the middle of January, we went out for a hike. For several years, we've been going to the spot. We've had 3 or 4 different generations of dogs that have gone there, and it's always been great. This January was a lot different. 2 kilometers into the hike, maybe 20 minutes from the parking lot, 10 to 15 feet from the trail, our dog apparently followed a scent towards some baited traps and got snared. The snare was really tight around his neck, and we couldn't get it off. We started yelling and trying to get some help because we knew there were snowmobilers around. Luckily, a snowmobiler came by and had the right tools. We had some needle nose pliers that we could barely get in there, and they were cutting the dog. And it still took another 10 minutes just of trying to get the snare off, but we finally got the snare off. People don't realize, oh, there's no switch. Pull it tighter and it gets tighter. It just cinches down. And that's a dangerous situation. Since then, just trying to figure out what happened and what went wrong and how to avoid this has been really frustrating. Just learning about that it is a legal trap line, and it's also legal for us to be there, and it's also legal for us to not have a dog on a leash there. On the alberta.ca website, there's quite a substantial brochure on what's allowed in this exact area. You can ride your horse, ride your bike, skidoo, you can hunt, fish, you can get a permit and cut trees down, you can graze your cows there, but there's nothing about trapping in this brochure. So when I phoned Fish and Wildlife, I wanted to find out why that is, and they said it's because trapping is considered the same as hunting, which makes no sense. It's a totally different thing. This trap line is 40 kilometers long, and there were dozens of traps 2 kilometers from a road where people park and walk with their dogs. Why do it so close to where people are? So many people have had so many bad encounters there this winter. Trappers are watching this, are gonna go, why don't you know about the dangers surrounding you? I mean, that's why I carry bear spray. That's why I have a spot GPS. I know that I need to take care of myself. But if I don't know about this trap, and it's purposefully kept a secret from me, that makes no sense. There was 4 parking lots for this area. 1 parking lot had 1 sign, and that's not the parking lot that hikers start from. There should absolutely be a very solid mandate to provide signs everywhere.
Surprisingly, Rod's story is not uncommon. In addition to the tens of thousands of wolves, coyotes, and foxes that are killed in neck snares across this country each year, there are also dozens of family dogs that suffer the exact same fate.
Our family has been on this quarter section for just over 100 years. With livestock and animals, we've always have dogs, and Titus was really a part of that. This fall, we happened to get another new neighbor. We let him out that morning, and Titus, typically he would come back to the house. Well, he didn't come back, and into the evening there was still no sign of Titus, which got me to be getting very, very worried. It was very unlike him. My husband and I thought, okay, well, we're gonna go and look for maybe some tracks on the road. My husband yelled, Kim, I know where Titus is. I could see like a wire hanging off of this tree, and Terry says, Kim, that's a snare. In the search, there was more snares and more snares. And the bait, there was so much. We seen a whole bunch of ravens and birds flying around and all in one area, and I grew up on a farm. I know what those birds are doing. My heart sunk. I thought, oh no, And so we started to search, and Terry screamed from the other side of the bush that he had found Titus, and he's screaming at me, run, run. And I got to where Terry was, and Titus was laying there in this snare, and I didn't think he was alive. And Terry says, Kim, he's alive. Get this thing off of his neck. You could tell that he had struggled all night long. His head and face had swollen so badly, and his eyes were bulging out red. We got the snare off of his neck, and he laid there. And he tried to get up, and it took everything he had to try and get up, and incredibly enough, he was able to make it back home. And the next day, he just really, he didn't recover, and he passed. I'm very glad that he was home with us when that happened and not in that snare in that bush. We absolutely had no clue that there were these death traps right next door outside our backyard. We were very shocked to find out when we phoned the Fish and Wildlife that this practice is completely legal. We, like so many other people, thought, no, that's not right. They need to tell us. They need to post a sign. We were dumbfounded.
Current regulations allow snares to be set just 200 meters from a dwelling, including a home or a school. And they can be set along rural roadways or just off trails, just as they were on the trapline we discovered in our last episode. And to make matters worse, most of Canada doesn't require that warning signs be posted to notify hikers, skiers, dog walkers, bird watchers, anybody, that there's a trapline nearby. Why not? Because trappers are worried their traps are going to get stolen or damaged if people know where they are. In some of these stories, these snares were set legally in busy, multi-use recreational areas. And in others, the pets caught were able to be saved despite suffering for more than 20 minutes in the snares. Now imagine a wolf in the wild, caught in a snare with no one or no way to save itself. Is it acceptable for it to suffer for hours or even days before it finally dies? Of course not. And the Alberta government knows this. Why else would they be spending our taxpayer dollars testing new models of snares on live coyotes at a facility in Vegreville, Alberta? In conversation with wildlife managers tied to the Alberta Innovates program, it's obvious that they are well aware that manual and power-killing neck snares in use on Alberta traplines are neither effective or humane. They know that they don't render animals unconscious in less than 3 minutes, which is supposed to be the gold standard for animal welfare in killing trap research as adopted by the Canadian General Standards Board in 1984. So the question is, are you comfortable with the Alberta government using your taxpayer dollars to fund snaring research by killing coyotes? And in the meantime, why is there not an immediate moratorium on the use of snares? And finally, there is no mandatory check time for snares by trappers in Alberta and in many other jurisdictions across the country. A wolf can literally get caught on a Monday and have to suffer for days, slowly choking to death until the trapper finds some time on the weekend to either come and skin it or to put it out of its misery. And that brings us back to one of the key points of this episode. If a trapper sets out to catch wolves with their snares, how can they ensure that that's all they're going to catch? The answer is, they can't. Snares aren't selective. They capture and kill all kinds of different animals, including our pets.
It's been a struggle for both my friend and I to to leave it behind and just to get over that kind of trauma, because it is legitimately traumatizing. Like, that's been my life, is hiking with my dog. That's what I do. I'll go back out and go hike some more, but I'm gonna have a toolbox with me obviously. When I walk around town, all I see are Canada goose goats. And I don't think people really understand that. That's where their hood comes from. That's where there's a dog around their face. And I think if they did, and if they knew the genesis of where that dog came from and how it got there, I think it would be not so appealing to wear those kind of coats. Now in Western Canada, there's about 50,000 coyote pelts that get sold at auction. There's tens of thousands more coyotes that get snared and aren't appropriate for auction. They either they get frozen to the ground, birds come and eat them all the time. That's what's so hard to reconcile with trapping, is that there is no respect for the animal there at all. I mean, you just skin them, throw the body down on the ground and leave it there, and then hopefully some other animal comes and eats it and gets snared again.
The bottom line here is neck snares need to be banned. Enough is enough. They're cruel, they're inhumane, and they're outdated. So please help give our wildlife a voice by visiting our website and taking action at www.exposegem.com. Thanks for watching, everybody, and don't forget to subscribe to catch our next episode.